Hello and welcome to this Tyranids Codex review with me, Xenovids. In this video we'll be comparing the old to the new and focusing on the heavy support choices. So in the heavy support section, it's very apparent that this is where some of the best units in the Codex are. Last edition I think it was the elite section that had some really good ones. This one, heavy support. And first of all in the heavy support is the Carnifex Brood. Now the Carnifex Brood used to be 160 points per model. They're now 120 points. That's 40 points drop. That's amazing. 120 points for a monstrous creature. With a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3, a strength 9, toughness 6, 4 wounds, initiative 2, 3 attacks, leadership 7, 3 up armor save. So lost an attack, gained an initiative. Comes standard with 2 pairs of siphoning talons, which means if you have him like that, he has 4 attacks. It's fearless, instinctive behaviour is feed, and is a living battering ram. Now you may include 2 more Carnifexes for 120 points each, and any model may replace 1 pair of siphoning talons for crushing claws for 15 points a model. And crushing claws gives you +1 to your strength and it's unwieldy. Any model may take items from the monstrous biocannons and biomorphs, so they can have extra guns and stuff like that. Any model may take any of the following: spine banks for 5 points, bioplasma for 20 points, a fresher tail for 10 points, and a bone mace for 15 points. If we go to the biomorphs and have a look at what bioplasma. Bioplasma is a 12-inch range, strength 7, AP 2, assault 1 blast. That is quite good. For 20 points, a strength 7, AP 2 blast. It's not bad. Spine banks, spine banks, spine banks, spine banks. Tail biomorphs. What can he have? Bone mace, strength 8, melee unwieldy, and a fresher scythe is strength 4, AP 4, melee, and it comes rending. The spine banks are 8-inch, strength 3, assault 1 blast, so not amazing. Their section is on page 52. Living battering ram. When this model charges, it inflicts D3 Hammer of Wrath attacks rather than just 1. Very good. Very, very, very good. So if you have 3 of them, the strength 9, if you wanted that strength 10 you could give them crushing claws, but strength 9 is pretty good. So 2 sets of siphoning talons gives them 4 attacks normally. On the charge, 5 attacks. D3 Hammer of Wrath. Say you roll it, you get 2. So that's essentially 7 attacks at strength 9. And a bone mace with strength 8. Yeah, the Carnifexes are quite deadly. They're going to take down vehicles. They're going to take down most infantry. They are low initiative, but with a toughness of 6, they should be okay. They only have 4 wounds though. That didn't go up. But I think for 120 points each, minimum basic, they're going to be in a lot of army lists now. And I think the Carnifexes have just got better and better. Next on the list is the Biovore Brood. Now, the Biovores used to be 45 points model. They're now 40 points model. So another drop in points. They come with a weapon skill, ballistic skill of 3, strength toughness of 4, 3 wounds, initiative 2, 2 attacks, leadership 6, and a 4 up armor save. So they've gone up 1 wound and an attack and dropped 5 points. You may include 2 more for 40 points. They have Spore Mine Launcher, Instinctive Behaviour Hunt, and they're very bulky. The Spore Mine Launcher is 48 inch, Strength 4, AP 4, Assault 1, Barrage, Large Blast, Spore Bomb and Spore Burst. For more details about the Spore Bomb and Spore Burst, look at my fast attack section where I talk about Spore Mines, where basically, if you miss, you have Spore Mines plopped on the field and they just go around and you can move them yourself. And if they do hit something after they've been deployed, there's Strength 4 plus 1 for how many Spore Mines. So Spore Mines are quite good in this edition. You can move them, they're stronger. With the Biovore, it's a barrage, which is great in this edition. Biovores have just got better and better. Another almost auto include. In my lists, I don't know if I'd be taking them. I may have a couple of lists. I've got one model, the old metal one, but it's great. It's definitely in the top 4 of the heavy support section, and they're cheap. Yeah, another excellent boost. Okay, so moving on to the Trigon. Now the Trigon has also gone down in points. The Trigon is 190 points now, where it used to be 200 points. It's Weapon Skill 5, Ballistic Skill 3, Strength 6, Toughness 6, 6 wounds, Initiative 4, 5 attacks, Leadership 8, and 3 up armor save. So it's lost an attack, but other than that has stayed the same. Bioelectric Pulse and 2 pairs of Siphoning Talons is what it has. So 2 pairs of Siphoning Talons means it gains an attack in close combat, so it's the same attack really, 6 attacks normally. Has Deep Strike, Fearless, Fleet, Instinctive Behaviour, Feed, and Subterranean Assault. Can take Biomorphs, and you can give it a Prehensile Pincer for 10 points, or a Toxin Spike for 10 points as well. The Bioelectric Pulse is 12 inches, Strength 5, AP 5, Assault 6, so similar to what it was last time. We go to page 55. Subterranean Assault is when a Trigon or Trigon Prime deploys via Deep Strike. If it scatters on top of any terrain or model, reduce the scatter required to avoid the obstacle, just like you would for a drop pod. And after the Trigon has emerged, mark that position under the creature's base with a suitable marker. This represents the tunnel left by its emergence. Any friendly Tyranid infantry unit that arrives from reserve in subsequent turns may emerge from the Trigon's tunnel instead of arriving from reserve as normal. Only one unit may emerge from each tunnel marker each turn. If any unit chooses to do so, place the entire unit so that all of its models are wholly within 6 inches of the centre of the marker and in coherency. These models cannot be placed within 1 inch of an enemy model or within impassable terrain. If enemy models cannot be placed, these excess models are removed as casualties. A unit may not charge on the same turn it arrives from a Trigon tunnel but it may shoot or run. Good. The Trigon is pretty much the same for 10 points cheaper. So again, another boost in the heavy support section. The Trigon Prime. Now I used to use the Trigon a lot in the 5th edition Codex. He's great. A Synapse monstrous creature. I didn't really need to move him up the field. I could just make him Deep Strike. He had Subterranean Assault, which means he didn't scatter, and it was a good solid unit that I could have disrupting the enemy's forces. So Trigon Prime is now 230 points. He was 240 points, so he's also gone down by 10 points. He's Weapon Skill 5, Ballistic Skill 3, Strength, Toughness 6, 6 wounds, Initiative 4, 5 attacks, Leadership 10, 3 up armor save, Bioelectric Pulse with Containment Spines and 2 pairs of Scything Talons. And the 2 pairs of Scything Talons again mean you get a +1 attack in close combat. So on the charge he has 7 attacks. The Bioelectric Pulse with Containment Spines is, I think, similar to the last one. 18 inches, Strength 5, AP 5, Assault 12. He has Deep Strike, Fleet, Shadow in the Warp, Subterranean Assault, and Synapse Creature. He may take items from Biomorphs and Tyranid Bio-Artifacts, and he can also have a Prehensile Pincer for 10 points and a Toxin Spike for 10 points. So you can have Subterranean Assault, I've explained, doesn't scatter, and other units can come in from reserve using the hole he's created. Shadow in the Warp, -3 to enemy Psyker's leadership. Deep Strike is great, doesn't scatter. Fleet, great. Subterranean Assault, still great. Synapse Creature, needed Synapse Creatures. I think he's going to be an auto-include with me again, so I'm now by 10 points. Stays pretty much the same. And Shadow in the Warp, -3 to enemy leadership. So Eldar, any Grey Knights. Because when you assault a monstrous creature, if you fail your leadership, you become weapon skill 1. Good. Still good. So far so good with the heavy support section. So we have the Morlock. Now I never used the Morlock in 5th edition, and I'm probably going to use it this edition. The Morlock used to be 170 points. So a lot of points really for what it did. Now it's 140 points. Yeah, 140 points. It's weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 0, strength toughness 6, 6 wounds, initiative 4, 3 attacks, leadership 8, 3 up armor save. So it was exactly the same stats as before. It has Burrow, Deep Strike, Fearless, Hit and Run, Instinctive Behaviour Feed, Terror from the Deep, can take items from the Biomorphs list, and can have a Prehensile Pincer for 10 points and Toxin Spike for 10 points. 54 in the Codex is the page that he is on. Burrow. An unengaged Morlock can at any point during its movement phase from the 2nd game turn onwards elect to burrow. If it does so, remove it from the table and put it into ongoing reserves. A Morlock cannot Deep Strike and burrow in the same turn, so that's the same as what it used to be. Terror from the Deep, though, is very different. When arriving from Deep Strike reserve, a Morlock can choose to Deep Strike onto a point occupied by another model, friend or foe. Roll for scatter as normal. If a Morlock Deep Strikes onto a point occupied by another model, do not roll on the mishap table. Instead, place a large blast marker directly over the spot the Morlock is Deep Striking onto. All units, except flyers and flying monstrous creatures, beneath the blast marker suffer a number of strength 6 AP2 hits, with the ignore cover special rule equal to the number of models that unit has underneath the blast marker. So if you have a group of 10 Marines and you do a blast just here and you cover 5 of them, only 5 of them have strength 6 AP2. If the blast marker is on a multi-level ruin, only models on the lowest level of the ruin count as being under the blast marker. For wound allocation purposes, assume the attack is coming from the centre of the blast marker. Hits against vehicles are resolved against their side armour, although a strength 6 AP2 not too great against side armour of anything, so you want to be going against troops. If, after removing casualties, it is now possible to place the Morlock on the table on the spot where the blast marker landed, then do so, even if this is within 1 inch of another model, but not if it would be in base contact with or occupy the same space as another model. If it is not possible to place the Morlock, replace the large blast marker on the spot and resolve another round of damage as detailed above. So if you come in and you kill 3 of them and you still can't complete the Morlock model, you get another strength 6 AP2, the same as you would Terror of the Deep. You've got a second round of that. However, if after removing casualties for a second time it is not possible to place the Morlock, roll on the Deep Strike mishap table. So you could have 2 Strength 6 AP2 Large Blast hits, and then mishap, hoping you get ongoing reserve. Even if you get redeployment, your opponent puts you somewhere, you can then burrow and then try it again. So the Morlock is great. He's not designed to kill vehicles in that way. He's probably not going to kill a lot of Terminators in that way. What he's really designed to do is take out squads of tactical marines or squads of large model counts, so gaunts or orcs, cultists. That's where the Morlock will do well with this double hits up Terror from the Deep. For 140 points, I take him. Is it 140 points? Yeah, 140 points. I would take him bare, naked, and just have fun with him. Disrupt your opponent's units, which I think this codex is really about. Disruption, appearing out of nowhere. Disruption, disruption, disruption. Morlock, auto include for me. Moving on now to one of the new kits is the Exocrine, or Exocrine model. It comes at 170 points, and what you get for that is weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, strength 6, toughness 6, 5 wound, initiative 3, 3 attacks, leadership 7, save, armor save 3 up, monstrous creature, which has a bioplasmic cannon, scything talons, fearless, instinctive behaviour, hunt, symbiotic targeting, may take items from biomorph list, and may take the fresher tail biomorph. So the bioplasmic cannon has 2 profiles. They're both 24 inches, so only a 24 inch, so you will probably have to be moving him a little bit. Strength 7, AP2, Assault 1 Large Blast, or you can have a 24 inch Strength 7 AP2 Assault 6. Page 50. It's symbiotic targeting. If an Exocrine does not move in its movement phase, it gains 1+ ballistic skill, so it goes up from a 3 up to a from a ballistic skill of 3 to a ballistic skill of 4. An Exocrine cannot declare a charge the same turn it uses that special rule. Well, it shouldn't be charging anyway. It's a giant gun platform, essentially. So you're buying a Strength 7 AP2 weapon. It's very, very, very much needed in this codex, in the Tyranids army. Definitely needed. The only problem is it's competing with a hell of a lot of units. But it definitely has a place. It definitely has a place. You can be happy that a toughness 6, 5 wound, 3 up armor save monstrous creature is going to rain down death. It is a biovore on steroids, essentially, and it's another great unit for the heavy support. Okay, so last on the list is the Carnifex, which used to be 250 points. It is now 175 points. You have a weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, strength 6, toughness 6, 6 wounds, initiative 2, 3 attacks, leadership 8, 2 up armor save. The only thing that comes standard in this codex with a 2 up armor save. It has acid spray and stinger salvo as standard. Acid spray is a template weapon, which is strength 6, AP4, assault 1, torrent. Torrent! Amazing. Stinger salvo. 18 inch strength 5, AP4, assault 4. Good weapon again. You can give him a rupture cannon for 30 points, so it becomes 205 points, which is still 50 points cheaper than it used to be, or a Flesh Borer Hive for 5 points. Now the Flesh Borer Hive is 18-inch strength 4, AP 5, assault 20, or the Rupture Cannon, strength 10, AP 4, assault 2, and that replaces the acid spray. Now the Tyranids is fearless and he has instinctive behaviour hunt. On paper he got a huge boost, and it's only Thursday. It's been out less than a week. I've seen 4 battle reports on the internet, and every time the Carnifex has done amazingly. 175 points. Give him Flesh Borer Hive if you want him to go against troops, Rupture Cannon if you want him to go against the chance to go against vehicles, and just be safe that a 6 wound, toughness 6, 2-up armor save creature is going to walk up the field, do some shots. Carnifex and Exocrine combined are a lot of firepower for monstrous creatures. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Carnifex has done amazing. Another brilliant heavy support unit. But Xenovids, why are you so down? The heavy support is excellent. Well, there's not one unit in this heavy support that I would not take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is 7 choices in the heavy support, which could easily be an auto-include in any army. This is the best section in the book, with great models. If you could field all of these models in an army, that would be brilliant. In a standard 2,000 point less army, even 2,000 point or more, double force organisation, there's 7 here. You're only allowed 3 heavy sport. If you have another 3 heavy sport, you're still not getting one of these. If I have a huge battle with my Tyranids, I would take all of the heavy support section in here. Everything is amazing. Carnifex went down in points. They now destroy vehicles and can take down troops. Even if you have them naked, strength 9 is going to be awesome. Biovores fire spores of death, which is going to disrupt your opponent, and they're cheap. They've gone down in points. Trigon gone down in points. It's good. Come in. Baby brother of the Trigon Prime, but the Trigon Prime also gone down in points. And Synapse creature that's never scatters. That's brilliant. Morlock can come in and burrow and eat people from below and be great. Exocrine, strength 7, 8, 2 shots. Brilliant. Carnifex, lots and lots of shots, and his armor save of 2. Heavy sport section is by far the best section in this codex and gets a 20 out of 10 for me. The only problem is what to choose. Now, you need to think long and hard about your army list. If you want a swarm list, you're going to not be doing well against vehicles, because gaunts aren't very good against vehicles. So you need to think in your heavy support what could take down vehicles. If you're having a monster, a Nidzilla army, have fun with this. Try and get 2,000 points exactly so you can do dual force organisation and just take as many of these as you can. Because they're brilliant. Brilliant support, brilliant standalone models. They all look great. They're great. So please comment below and tell me what you think about the heavy support section in the Tyranid Codex. I think it's the best section in this codex. Please subscribe, like, comment and share my videos. It means a lot to me, and I will see you on the next video.